You're watching NFL Daily with Mitchell Ranzin. On today's show, we're going to be looking at some NFL trade candidates and some possible predictions. The three players we're going to be looking at, Deebo Samuel, Terry McLaurin, and A.J. Brown. Why? Because my oh my, there was a lot of trade rumors around all three of these players. Before I tell you where the top destinations are, before I get into the latest news and rumors around all three of these players, before I look into my crystal balls and tell you where all three of these guys will go if they get traded, who's the best receiver out of the bunch? Because let's just say all three were like, hey, I want to be traded, pick me. If you were an NFL organization, which one would you go after? Would you go after A.J. Brown? Type 11. Would you go after Terry McLaurin, Scary Terry of the Washington Commanders, type 17? Or would you go out and try to get the San Francisco 49ers star wide receiver Deebo Samuel? Go ahead and type 19. The first player that we're going to talk about here in our NFL trade candidates video is, in fact, Deebo Samuel. Why? Because he's the only one out of all three of these players, as I am recording this video, that has actually requested a trade. And apparently, the trade request came in more than a week ago, and the 49ers have been weighing their options. They've been trying to figure out what to do exactly, and Deebo wants to get paid, and I don't blame him for wanting to get paid. And you're going to see a very common theme here between all three of these wide receivers. 77 grabs last season, 1,405 receiving yards. Incredible. 6 touchdowns. Not only was Deebo efficient in the regular season, he was also very efficient in the playoffs. Like, I know we want to talk about the 49ers defense, and we can talk about Jimmy Garoppolo. There's nobody here that actually thinks that that team would have made it as far as they did without Deebo Samuel. Why? Because not only did you have to scheme for him as a receiver, you had to try to figure out what the hell he was going to do on the ground as well. 56 carries, 365 yards, 8 touchdowns. He averaged 6.5 yards per carry. That is bananas. Like, it's incredible to be able to average that type of production. And he's the first receiver in NFL history with 8 rushing touchdowns. He did it all for the San Francisco 49ers, so I don't blame him for wanting to go ahead and try to get the bag. If you were to ask me right now, Mitch, what do you think are the top destinations for Deebo? This is my list. I know what the odds say. My list. I got the Miami Dolphins on there. The Los Angeles Chargers make a lot of sense to me. The Texans have already been reported as interested in him. The New York Jets seem very logical. Why? They just love spending money and they want to go out and get good athletes. And then I'll say the Kansas City Chiefs. Deebo is not quite, I shouldn't say, he's not the same receiver as Tyreek. However, you can use Deebo in a lot of pre-snap reads because he is that good of an athlete. And if I was Kansas City and he was available, you have the draft capital. Why not? Go ahead and get ballsy. So go ahead, y'all, take a guess before I tell you where and why I think Deebo Samuel ends up going. Remember, this video is designed on all three of these players getting traded. So I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm saying that if they are traded, these are the teams that they would end up going to. So if Deebo goes, where's he going? Here's where I think he's going. I got Deebo Samuel going to the Miami Dolphins. And if I was Deebo, I'd want to go play with Mike McDaniel again. Hell yeah. McDaniel was the offensive coordinator for the 49ers last season. Now head coach in Miami. And Miami, to me, they are in all-in mode. I will make this note, though. This trade is a lot more likely after the NFL draft. The Dolphins traded away Davante Parker. You want to ensure that you know that if Tua Tagovailoa is your guy or not. Well, you already went out and traded for Tyreek. You go out and get Deebo Samuel. You get Jalen Waddle. Good luck trying to defend that offense. So, Deebo, he's also been spotted recently in Dolphins colors. I don't know. I'm on social media. That's what I see. So, Deebo to the Dolphins, that's what I'm thinking. Let's go to the next player here, and it's A.J. Brown. And there have been already tons of rumors around A.J. Brown and the fact that, which in today's world, why any player takes the team out of their bio, whether it be on Twitter, whether it be on Instagram, LinkedIn, MySpace, I don't care where, you know people are going to realize that. So don't act surprised when people start getting mad at you for taking it out of the bio. I think it's a little bit of a growing up thing for A.J. Brown, but I'll also say this. I get the fact that he wants a new contract, and yes, it's voluntary off-season workouts, sure. A.J. deserves a new contract. He's a hell of a receiver, but I don't really like a lot of times when these players, they go on Twitter and they're like, oh, apparently I'm a diva now. I don't think that it's right when people go on their Twitter DMs or they start messaging people. That's not right. If I was an NFL player, I think I would just stay off social media. So before I tell you guys some of the top destinations for A.J. Brown, where I think he's going to end up going, guys, we're going to be live for the NFL Draft. I'm going to say that again. We're going to be live for the NFL Draft, and we're going to be live all 3 days, all 7 rounds. It's like, in a 3-day stretch, I'm not kidding you, it's about like 78 hours of coverage. It's absolutely incredible. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Turn on those notifications, I'm aware. YouTube.com/chatsportstv. Turn on those notifications because we're going to be wilding out. We're going to be having a good time. We're going to be going live on so many channels, hitting you with so much content, and don't tell anyone. We get the pics before you see them on TV. It's really cool. Just saying, hit that sub button, turn on those notifications. So let's get back to this A.J. Brown discussion. When he was first coming out of Ole Miss, I had him as a very high draft prospect. I thought he should have gone in the first round. The Titans, 52 catches, 1,051 yards, 8 touchdowns, and loved him coming out of the gate. The issue with Brown has always been, can he stay healthy? In 2020, his efficiency level, despite missing a few games, 70 grabs, over 1,000 yards, 11 touchdowns. It's good. Here's the issue, though. If I'm going to go out and pay a receiver big-time money, I don't want him to be coming off his worst year of his career, which he is. 63 catches, 869 yards, 5 touchdowns. I can put some blame on Ryan Tannehill. Can also put some blame the fact that King Henry wasn't healthy. However, if you want to get paid like a number one, you need to perform and be out there on the field like a number one receiver. So let's just say the Titans look at AJ and they're like, you know what, man? I can't trust that you're going to be healthy. I can't pay you like a true number one. So he goes, all right, cool. I want out. Here are the top teams I think make the most sense for A.J. Brown. And you're going to see very similar teams. Why? Because, well, teams that are interested in a wide receiver, they should be interested in all these guys, right? Atlanta, the Jets, the Chiefs, the Saints, and I'm going to go with the Green Bay Packers. So what do y'all think here? If A.J. Brown gets dealt, where's he going? I want to know. I know where I think he's going to go. But I want to know from the audience. I want to know from the watchers on YouTube. I want to know from the watchers on Rumble. If A.J. Brown gets traded, where's he going to end up going? My prediction is that he ends up going to the New York Jets. I know the Jets are interested, and I see them weighing all their options. But the new Jets organization, their new general manager, he loves athletes. And A.J. Brown is a phenomenal athlete. Nobody's going to go ahead and dispute that. Zach Wilson still needs a number one receiver, and, well, A.J. Brown, Ole Miss, Moore, Elijah Moore, maybe there's some sort of connection there. I don't know. But the fact that New York has plenty of draft capital and plenty of money, if there's any team out there that can make a trade for probably all 3 of these players, it's the New York Jets. They have so much draft capital, not only in the first round this year, in the second round, and the money to do it. And if I was a big-name receiver trying to make some extra money, trying to make my name a household name, I know the Jets stink, but New York's a pretty good market the last time that I checked. Before I tell you guys the final name on this list, which is going to be Terry McLaurin in terms of where he ends up going, hey, if you guys want to stay up to date going on anything NFL, Raiders, fantasy football, don't be afraid to hit me up on social media at MitchellRents365, IG, Twitter. That's where I'm at, literally everywhere. Hit me up on social media. Let's go to Scary Terry here, the Washington Commanders star wide receiver. Skipping off-field or on-field workouts during the offseason programs. That's the trend. These guys aren't showing up. Fans are panicking, but they also want brand new contracts on top of that. Productive wide receiver's entire career, despite poor quarterback play. So in 2019, he had 58 catches, 919 yards, 7 touchdowns. The following year, 87 grabs, 1,118 yards, 4 touchdowns. This season, 77 catches, 1,053 yards, 5 touchdowns. This might be eye-opening to some people, and I'm not saying Terry McLaurin is as good as Stephon Diggs. However, I definitely think that Terry McLaurin and Stephon Diggs are a lot closer than what people really want to truly realize. If you were to put McLaurin on the Buffalo Bills with Josh Allen, I believe his numbers would be very similar. You want to hear something crazy? Stephon Diggs is making about $223,000 per catch. I wish I made that much money. Terry McLaurin making about $12,000. There's a difference there, and it's not nearly that big of a difference when you look at the play on the field. So if you were to ask me what teams would be interested, obviously a bunch of teams are going to be interested. But the teams most likely linked to him, I'm going to go with the Green Bay Packers, the Atlanta Falcons, Jets, Chiefs, and the Indianapolis Colts. So before I tell y'all where Terry McLaurin ends up getting traded to, you're probably catching on to a theme here. Yeah, I'm going to ask you guys. This is your opportunity to tell me where you think Terry McLaurin, if he gets traded, ends up going. So I'm going to let you know in about 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Terry McLaurin, I believe if he gets traded, ends up going to the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts, they need another receiver. Matt Ryan, they want to try to compete with the Tennessee Titans in that division. Go out and add a good route runner. McLaurin, he would not only fit great with Matt Ryan, I think he's going to fit great in that offense. And McLaurin has a lot of family still in the Indianapolis area. He went to high school in Indianapolis. He grew up in Indianapolis. If I was an NFL player and I knew my family could come to the games, that would absolutely be a big ticket for me. There was also, I believe McLaurin was thinking about going to Indiana, decided not to. So all I know is this. McLaurin, Colts, it makes a lot of sense to me. So here are my trade predictions. Deebo Samuel goes to the Miami Dolphins if he's traded. A.J. Brown, he's going to go to the New York Jets if he's traded. Terry McLaurin going to go to the Indianapolis Colts if he's traded. And if any of these players do get traded, then if I'm wrong, that's fine. You know what I do know, though? We're going to be going live. We're going to be making you guys a video. So make sure you subscribe. Make sure you turn on those notifications because this is a hell of an offseason, man, and I don't want you to miss anything.